Hi, Paula. I'm Sophia. I'm really glad that you're here today. I wanted to spend some time getting to know you and understanding you and what brings you in here today. Before I can do that, I do want to share that everything in this room, everything that you share with me will be confidential except for some of the extreme stuff like suicide ideation, or if you're going to harm yourself or harm somebody else, that stuff I'm legally obligated to report. Is that
familiar with that?
Great. So, help me understand what brings you in here today.
Well, lately I have not found as much joy in my relationship as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And I have seen relationships in my life crumble before my eyes, and I never want that to happen with my relationship. So I'd like to figure out why the things that used to make me laugh make me want to rip his face off in a non-actually aggressive way.
Not-actually aggressive way. That's okay. Have you had experience with therapy before?
Yes, I've had, don't even know how many therapy sessions I've had. I've done EMDR, I think that's called. Eye movement disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Something about the two sides of the brain. That was supposed to help with trauma. I had some trauma in my teens. I've had family therapy with my mom and my dad. I've had lots.
Yeah. So have you talked about your relationship with other therapists before, or is this the first time that you're coming for this?
This is the first time I haven't seen a therapist for about probably 5 years, and we've been together for 7.5.
Mm-hmm. That's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you find that, and just so I get an understanding of like your whole life picture, do you find that like this problem, these issues that you're experiencing in your relationship, are they affected by any substances or anything of that nature?
He definitely drinks. It's possible, but
that's okay.
I just don't want to be mad anymore.
I don't think anyone wants to be mad at anybody. So you mentioned that you went to family therapy as a kid and you've experienced a lot of other stuff.
A teenager.
So do you mind sharing a little bit more about your family and maybe what was going on that led you to that point?
So I was assaulted at 16 as a virgin, and then I quickly started dating someone, got pregnant, had an abortion at 17 weeks. Then I got pregnant again and had another abortion. And so we went to family therapy because my parents didn't think they could actually figure out what was going on, because I never told them any of that.
Wow. That must have been really tough.
Yes.
Did you find that therapy helped before and that's why you wanted to come back now?
Yes. I've had nothing but great experiences with therapists. Yeah. My last one actually died of cancer while I was
so sorry.
seeing
that's
her.
awful.
So I think that's why I stopped so abruptly and then haven't gone back.
Yeah, it's hard to like get so close to someone and then start all over. Yeah, I definitely know people who've had that same experience. So you've mentioned a lot of trauma and previous history, but I want to understand those might be seen as the more negative sides of your life and the way that you live and stuff. But what are some things that you really enjoy about yourself? What are things that you love and those sorts of things?
What do I love?
Could be what you love to do. What do you love about yourself? What are you looking forward to in the future that you're excited about?
Those are hard.
You don't have to answer all of them.
No. I look forward to a future with my partner that I'm with now. But that's also a point of contention because he doesn't really believe in marriage the way I do.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say that. What I love about myself is I think that my traumas and like the path that I've taken have led me to be my most true self that I can be. And I don't really take shit from other people.
Yeah.
Pardon my language, but I am authentically me every day.
That's amazing.
I don't feel like I make excuses for who I am anymore.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And that feels empowering?
Yes, I'm uncomfortably confident.
I love that.
To other people.
To other people, yes, of course.
Not in the mirror, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm a woman.
So what do you hope to gain out of this new therapy experience?
I just want to remember my happy and figure out at what point did it become anger.
Mm-hmm. Are you open to the possibility of redefining what happy means to you?
Sure. Yeah, because my good outweighs my bad every day in my relationship. And I think that not being married and being together for so long actually is a bonus because I have the option to choose him every day, but I don't want my bad to ever outweigh my good, and I feel like I'm leaning in that direction.
Yeah.
So.
And do you think that your partner would ever be open to coming in here with you someday far down the line?
Absolutely not.
No? Okay. Let me just check to see how much time we have.
It's been 5 minutes.
That's it? My goodness. Time flies. You have
When
quite the exciting life. Yes. So, I know we talked about a few things that we love about, or that you love about yourself. Do you think that you came to those conclusions on your own, or do you feel like you just heard these things from a lot of people and you were like, yes, this is what I love about me?
A little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
Being unapologetic for who I am is something I think that I found out about myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I've also had other people comment on my confidence, and I feel like sometimes other people commenting on it helps me be a little bit more confident.
Yeah.
Another trauma I went through was an eating disorder, so I feel like confidence is something that I struggle with on my own.
Yeah.
But when other people see it or comment on it, it feels empowering, and it allows me to, I don't know, ride that coattail.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, I think it's really interesting that you mentioned that it makes you feel like, okay, they're saying this, like, it kind of sounds like, yes, that must be true. If other people who don't know me, don't know what I've been through, know this about me, and I also agree with their opinion.
Right.
That's amazing. Yeah. So another thing I wanted to understand going into this journey with you is, like, how do you identify yourself as? Like, whether it be your preferred gender pronouns or your, like, sexual orientation, do you feel like those are major parts of your identity?
No.
I
mean, I'm a female. I'm a female and I'm straight.
You can never make any assumptions, and especially with people being so open about it now.
Yeah, I don't feel that way.
That's okay.
I'm a female. 100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
no, I wouldn't. Yeah, no, it would never. That doesn't classify me.
No. Yeah.
I'm outspoken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that would classify me. I don't know what other parts there are, but my gender is not one that I would pick.
Yeah. So you and your partner,
he's a man.
Yes. So you mentioned that you guys have been together for 7.5 years. So what do you have, like, certain milestones in your relationship that have already happened that have been really significant for you?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we have a multiple pets together. I feel like that's a pretty big milestone in a relationship, especially one with a longer shelf life. I work in produce. That came naturally. A longer life span, I think, is how you say that for living things.
I would think so.
Shelf life. Wow. I really work in produce. So yeah, we have multiple pets that have an 18-year lifespan. So I feel like that's a pretty big milestone to commit to that together, like, knowingly. We have a house together. We share utility bills. We had an arrangement, or at least what I thought we had, which was that, like, at 7 years, we would get married, or at least entertain the idea of marriage. That came and went, and I feel like that's also kind of when things got where I became more angry, because maybe I felt like the promise wasn't made. Because when we first started dating, I was 23. And he said, give me 7 years before I marry you. I was like, oh, that seems totally normal. Like, I'll be 30, all is well. And then that came and went. And I just don't see it happening anytime soon.
Yeah. That must be really frustrating, because it seems like promises are really important to you.
Yeah. Especially with the person that you're with. Like, for life. And that you want to be able to depend on. And, if a promise, like something like that, gets broken, it kind of makes you think about other things, I guess.
Yeah. That must be really tough and challenging to have to, know that, like, every day that you go past this deadline that you guys agreed on, that things are not really meeting your expectations.
Yeah, I think so. I find myself rationalizing it because we've had conversations about it together. I had, like, 7 cousins get married in the last 2 years.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's been a lot of weddings, a lot of family weddings, and after, I think, the 4th one that got engaged, he said to me, I just want you to know that your moment's coming, but I don't want it to be overshadowed by the rest of your family, which I can respect. But still feel like we could have done something more intimate, maybe a private engagement or something, but instead it feels like it's more going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Like he never wants to get married. Maybe that's the trick.
I mean, I don't know your partner, so I can't make any assumptions, but I'm sure it's something that we can get to together eventually and maybe understand, like, what are ways to have different conversations with him and those sorts of things. You mentioned your family and 7 cousins. That's a lot. Do you have a large family?
Huge.
How big?
So my mom and dad are both from 4 siblings.
Wow.
They all have 2 kids, some 3. And then we're really close with our extended family. So like my cousin's cousins, I would consider my cousins. Those were some of the people that got married this year. So yeah, like I have always been really close with my family and then extended family. They've just, I've always had multiple sets of grandparents that aren't really my blood parents, but they are. As far as like cousins relationships, my cousin, one of my many cousins is my best friend. We were raised by our grandma, and sometimes they say raised, but watched by my grandma. I went home to my mom and dad every night still, but grandma watched us every day, like all the cousins together, so we're super close because of that, I think. My mom went back to work 4 weeks after I was born, so my aunt watched me. My aunt and my uncle, because she didn't work when she was pregnant with my cousin, who's my best friend now. She's 6 months younger than me. So I spent a lot of time with family. And yeah, family is very big and important. Yeah,
I can tell family is important to you. So are you close with your partner's family as well?
He is the opposite size family. It's extremely small, and he has no cousins at all. 0.
Wow. That must be a big adjustment for him as well to like be
he's
in your family.
Mind blown by the amount of family functions we go to. Because we see his family, I don't know, maybe every other month. And that's like a lot for him. Before he was with me, he never saw them. Like on Christmas only. His mom has one brother who's unmarried, never been married, doesn't have children. His mom's dad passed away, but the mom's still living. She has one sister. So they have some extended family, but they're not close with them. His dad's dad left when he was a newborn, and the mom never remarried and had no more children. So he's an only child, and the grandma is passed, so on his dad's side, it's just his dad. And then he has a young brother who lives in another state. So
But so it sounds like he's close with the family that he does have more so now because of the relationship that you two have.
I encouraged a more close. Yes, absolutely.
Because family is so important to you.
Right. Not that he didn't have a relationship, it just wasn't a priority. He's mind blown by the amount of times I talked to my mom.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you guys have a close relationship, you and your mom and the rest of your family. Do you feel like that's impacted your openness to something like coming to see a therapist and wanting to work on things so you could all be together and enjoy the time together?
Like a therapy session?
No, more like it's because based on the trauma that you had as a child, you were going to therapy. Do you feel like therapy, let me rephrase that. Do you feel like therapy's helped you be more open to being closer with your family?
No.
Given the experiences in your childhood?
No. I've always been close with my family. I didn't see a therapist till I was 16, 17, something like that. I think 17.
Yeah.
Because it was about a year after the assault happened.
Yeah. And is your family supportive of you seeing a therapist?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing.
My mom always, my whole life, has joked that she would pay for the couch. So my mom has been through therapy. My mom had trauma when she was little. My great aunt actually went through shock treatment for depression in the 50s, I think. I don't know. A long time ago.
Yeah.
So therapy, depression, and anxiety is something that my mom's side of the family has always spoke very openly about. That's never felt like something like the people who aren't on medication are the weird ones in my mom's family.
That's really funny. Yeah, that's awesome that you have the support system because,
Yeah.
there's some people who